Welcome to Pro Practice, your guide to piano mastery. I'm Josh Wright, and today's episode is based on Maple Leaf Rag by Scott Joplin. So excited to be presenting this tutorial, something totally out of the ordinary from our usual Pro Practice tutorials, which are focused on classical music, classical repertoire, as well as exercises. However, this is one of my favorite pieces. I learned this when I was much younger, along with Easy Winner's Rag, The Entertainer, and a few others. And I just love this music, first and foremost, which is why I wanted to teach it and include it in this course. Ragtime was also heavily influential on jazz and many other styles of music. My wife and I took a course, it must have been 15 or 16 years ago now, in our undergraduate degrees, called American Music. And the music that Ragtime influenced, jazz, many other styles, bebop. I'm not even going to go into it because it was so long ago. I don't want to mix up my facts here, but even the influence on rock and roll country music and many others, a lot of it dates back to this. And before this has heavy influence from African American spirituals. So they drew inspiration from Ragtime drew inspiration from marching band music and minstrel music. It's a mix of African and European influences. So we do see influences of German polka and Anglo-American marching band music, as I mentioned. But with Joplin and most ragtime musicians, elements of black spirituals and blues and the cakewalk can be seen. Ragtime is largely piano-based. We often hear terms like ragged rhythm or ragging the rhythm. So there's heavy syncopations in here between the main beats of the music. And this is something that's different from classical. 1, 2. These are our main beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so whereas in Maple Leaf, we can already, just in the first few bars, start to hear that ragged rhythm where the name of ragtime is derived from. So, unlike jazz, ragtime does not call for improvisation. I heard many different versions. I actually did quite a bit of research before this video, even though this is not nearly as hard as some of the pieces we've recently covered in Pro Practice. I'm a classical guy, so I was like, I want to make sure that I do my research. So I texted my teacher from Michigan, Dr. Logan Skelton, who's a genius with pretty much everything, but he especially knows a lot about this style. He's very good friends with William Bolcom, who is a modern-day ragtime composer and has written so many charming rags. My wife even played one of those on her doctoral recitals. And I said, I've been listening to a few different versions of Maple Leaf Rag, and we have this old piano roll where Joplin swings it. Should we swing it? And he said, well, here's another historical recording from Joplin that's not swung. And then he sent me 4 others, one of them by William Albright, one by Jelly Roll Morton, one by James P. Johnson, and one by U.B. Blake, each of them demonstrating different styles and different approaches to this. And he said there is no one right way. He said they all played differently depending on where they lived and their own personal talents and ways of playing. So I wanted to start out this tutorial just with that little bit of background about ragtime, about this piece in particular. This piece, by the way, was published in 1899. Joplin's dates are 1868 to 1917, and there's rumors that this sold over 1 million copies, so this provided a nice supplemental income to Joplin throughout his life, and this really made him the king of ragtime. He is dubbed by even many of his contemporary ragtime composers as the king of ragtime. He wrote over 40 rags, and this one is perhaps his most famous. It is associated with Sedalia, Missouri. He arrived there in 1894, and he was playing at different black clubs, one of them called the Maple Leaf Club. There's speculation whether he named it after that or there was other influences in the area at that time which may have led him to call this Maple Leaf Rag. Okay, enough talking. I want to get into the tutorial portion of this. I want to start by, I'll just play the first page, 3 different ways let's play a straight rhythm in 2 different tempos, or tempi, and the third way we will do a swing rhythm. Okay, so Joplin himself said that ragtime should not be played fast. So I've heard some, I don't think that is really in the spirit of what Joplin wanted, and none of his recordings go crazy fast. So I've heard some modern day recordings that are just, virtuosic, like as fast as you possibly can go, and it just kind of is like yucky. Like, I don't know of a better word for that. There's no expression in it. I think that we want to enjoy the rhythm in here. So let's try it slowly, not like under tempo, but like a nice slow march-like tempo. Okay, and then let's try a little faster. Okay, now. Okay, now I'm playing from the original score. My good friend, who we featured on the channel before, very kind, amazing individual, Paul Barton, put out his video as part of my research, and he put out annotated embellishments by Joplin in a free PDF score, so everybody can go check out Paul Barton's tutorial, and he has a free PDF that he just himself put out. So there's these fun little embellishments. I'm going to do a swing rhythm one more time, so actually we're doing 4 with Joplin's embellishments from his old piano roll. One more time. Sorry. Okay, and there's a lot of fun embellishments throughout here that we will also explore. So big thank you to Paul for putting out that PDF and a great tutorial as well. Let's get into the instruction portion of this. So let's talk just for a moment about fingering. This is not that complex of a piece so far as choosing finger numbers, because most of these figures fall under the hand. So you can find the chords and practice them. So you could practice. That will help you get familiar with the notes, and then so you could do stuff like that, and then some people may like 2 5 1 2 4 5 1. Others may like 2 5 1 2 3 5 1. 3 obviously is a stronger finger than 4, so most people will probably like that. 4 falls a little bit straighter on. I'm not used to 4, so excuse my poor playing here. That one for sure we'd want 3 on the B flat, but right there you could use the 4. Okay, so for fingering, that's mostly what you need. Going down here. 3 5 2 3 5 1 3 1 4 5 1 3 4 5 1 3 5 1 3 4 1 5-3 one. Okay, and it's pretty similar. Throughout the rest of the piece, I don't see any places that are especially daunting so far as fingering. If you just apply that concept of blocking the notes in a measure or blocking logical chords, you'll be able to quickly figure it out. So I'm not going to spend a whole big portion of this tutorial going over fingering because it is very intuitive. One thing that's not so intuitive for students, and really the challenge of this piece, is the jumping bass. Okay, and especially when we get over. Okay, those can be big, scary jumps for a lot of students. And it's, especially when you're under pressure, that can be difficult. So let's actually get into that concept right now. These aren't quite so bad. These are a good starting place. One thing that I want to advocate for is something that I have just named the chord combo exercise. This is something I used in Scarbo by Ravel. I taught it to a student one time because he was having such a difficult time getting those crazy ascending chords in Scarbo. And it can be applied to things like Maple Leaf Rag. What you do is, it's a simple premise. You go through and you play each note individually. So we'd play just bottom notes. And we would want to make sure that we have the right fingering. So if you have absolutely tiny hands, you could do 5-3-1, but I want to keep a slightly open fingering. So 5-1 to 4-2-1 there allows me to not have to jump quite as far with my 5. So we'll go 5-5, 4-4, 5, and then it's up to you. If you like 5-1 there, if you like 4-1, doesn't matter to me. Okay, 5-4, 4-4, 5, 5-4, 4-5. Up to you, 5 or 4. I'll try 5 this time. 5, 4, 4. Okay, and then we just do tops. Okay, but now we get into the combo exercise. So we can do a lot of different variations of this. I guess there could potentially be infinite ways that you could do this, but not practically. Practically, you'd want to just maybe do bottom notes to the bottom 2 notes of the chords. Okay? And then we'll do just tops to the bottom 2 notes. This one's kind of weird. But that one already starts, sorry, let me finish this. That one already starts to show us something. Oh, I'm just there. So rather than thinking jump, 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 we're actually just small 4th jump and then just staying there. Well, that's easy. Okay, and then we could do bottom notes to the top notes. Okay, and then we can do top notes to the top notes. Okay, and then this starts to become a lot easier, even on these big chords over on this trio section. Those jumps start to become a lot friendlier because you're no longer thinking of your longest distance. This is probably the most important thing so far as accuracy that I'm going to present in this tutorial. Think of the shortest distance that you have to do. Because if I say, Jenny or Mark or whoever you are out there, play an A flat with your thumb. Okay, now play an octave. You're going to be able to find that really quickly. If I say, jump to an A flat octave as quick as you can, eyes closed. You'd have to kind of feel your way around for the black key is. Okay, now I want you to play A flat octave to this A flat octave. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, that's a 2-octave jump from the bottom. I'm thinking there's no jump. It's a replacement because I know what an octave feels like. So if I just think of the thumb going to the pinky, and I know what an octave feels like on top, this concept will open up a world of better accuracy. The other thing to keep in mind is the looser your hand is. You might have heard the time before this last one, I might have accidentally brushed another key. You know, let me purposely play a wrong note for you. You know, so right there. Versus, if my hand is tight, you're gonna hear those mistakes. If your hand is loose and you accidentally brushed another key, it's not going to be as noticeable. So let's go over 2 more concepts to help you loosen up the hand here.